श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरुब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां भिजये गुरोगणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्ये सर्वदा। शुक्लां भरधरं विष्णुं श्रीवरदं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् विघ्नोपशान्तये। व्यासं वसिष्ठनप्तारं शक्ते पौत्रमकल्मषं पराशरात्मजं वन्दे विधातं तपोनिधिं। व्यासाय विष्णुरूपाय व्यासरूपाय विष्णवे नमो वै ब्रह्मणते वासिष्ठाय नमो नमः। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्. So, responding to Yudhishthira's concern, after Sanjay left, Yudhishthira told Krishna that how he is going to maintain his duty as a Kshatriya, how he is going to feed the Brahmanas, how he is going to look after all the people that come to him and things like that. If he does not have any place to rule and he's not ruling any kingdom or anything like that, how he's going to maintain? Krishna says he's going to try one more time and he's going to go to Hastinapura and propose a peace process there, and he's going to go there and try to establish peace between Kurus and Pandavas. Even if Kurus don't agree, at least then the war that's going to happen is not going to be blamed on Yudhishthira. So that's what Krishna says. So listening to this, Bhima then responds. He says, he tells Krishna that it is great that what Krishna suggested, and he tells Krishna that there be speak in such a way that we end up in peace with Kurus. Do not threaten them. So if you remember when Yudhishthira said, the Kauravas may attack you and things like that, Krishna said, if anyone harms me, I will destroy the entire Kurus at that point, right? So Bhima says, don't do anything like that. Don't threaten them with war or anything. Always use mild words and behave with mildness. Duryodhana don't address Duryodhana roughly. Duryodhana is like by nature, he's a sinful heart and pride of his prosperity, and he's always against Pandavas. So he normally does not listen to anything. He'd rather break himself rather than bend. So with such a person, peace is very difficult to achieve. But if regardless of that, if you try and if you get to achieve peace with that Duryodhana, that would be great achievement. And so Kauravas always have passed their for all along for all these years, they pass their life in happiness, and they we struggle all the way. But Duryodhana is always like he's born to destroy his own kinsmen, his own relatives, his own family. Like at the beginning of Kali, when dharma, righteousness deteriorates, at that time Kali prospers, and at that time 18 kings were born, and those kings will destroy, annihilate their relatives, friends, kinsmen, and everybody, family, and everybody they destroy. And Bhima quotes who are they? He says as Udavarta, he born in Hayayas, Janamaya among Nepas, Bahula among Talajangas, Vasu in Krimis, Ajabindu among Suviras, Rushadrik in Saurashtra, Arkaja in Baliha, Dotama Mulaka in China, and Hayagriva Videha, Varayu in Mahaujasas, and Bahu among Sundaras, and Pauravas among Deepta Deeptakshas, and Sahaja among Chedis and Matsyas, and Brishadwaja among Praviras, and Dharana among Chandravatsas, Vigana, Vigana among Muktas, and Sama among Nandivegas. So these individuals, these kings born up among those things at the beginning of Kali, when Kali starts, Kali Yuga starts, and they end in destruction of their own kinsmen. Just like that, Duryodhana is disgraceful. This Duryodhana is born in our race for the destruction of his own kinsmen and relatives and friends and everybody. That's why you should address him slowly, mildly, and not in a bitter way, but with sweet words, and which is dharma, artha, with everything. You should considering those things, discourse him fully, so that these your words attract his heart. And he says that tells Krishna that all of us would rather live in humiliation and follow Duryodhana submissively, but let's not end this Bharata race. Let's not destroy this Bharata race that's been here. Let's not end this Kuru race. So that's why speak nicely to Duryodhana. And even Yudhishthira approves whatever I'm saying. So Bhima says that. So that's why Yudhishthira is also very much into compassion, and Arjuna also not interested in war. That's why let's try this route. So when he says that, Arjuna, at that time, Krishna, listening to this, he starts laughing loudly. He looks at Bhima and then loudly he laughs, and he says that this Bhima at sometimes desiring to crush all the Duryodhana's sons, Dhritarashtra's sons, you desiring to do that, you always in anger, you always do not sleep at night, whole night you sit up and face down, you sit up and think about those things. And at times you give frightful sighs and exclamations, you scream. That shows that there is a storm in your heart. Again, with that fire inside you, with that anger, you give deep sighs. So again, most of the times you do not enjoy company with anybody. You always sit alone and deep sighs, and you're always thinking about that. Just like an elephant breaking a tree, you walk around stamping on the earth, and when entire earth shakes, like that angrily you walk around night, alone, sitting alone with your head between your legs. You sit between your knees. You sit there in that posture with closed eyes, thinking all night. You always do like this with all these things, and you also made a vow previously, saying that just like the sun rises in the east and with his brilliance, and then he goes in the west, around the Meru mountain he goes, just like that. Looking at that sun, I make this vow that I will destroy Duryodhana with all his brothers. You made that vow that you will kill all of them. So such a Bhima, how are you now talking about peace? You're talking mildly to Duryodhana. You're talking about not making him angry. So you're even ready to live submissively to Duryodhana for the peace. How are you that? And Krishna laughs at him, saying that it's all because you are now scared of war. All this time you are saying that I'm going to crush Duryodhana, I'm going to crush his brothers, I'm going to destroy everybody. But now suddenly war is at your doorstep. You are scared, like a eunuch. You don't have any manliness in you. You are very much you are panicking now. That's why you are asking for a peace. Your thighs are trembling now. You can't stand on your feet. And Krishna makes fun of him, and he says that you have to remember your own duties. You should not sink into this ocean of despair, and because everybody is dependent on you, you have to remember your own duties. As a Kshatriya born, this is not good for you. So this kind of thing is not good for you. So you should show your strength. That's the right way for you. And this is something similar we see in Bhagavad Gita when Arjuna gets into some kind of similar despair, Krishna exactly gives him his path, right? So what is the right way? So that's what we call Bhagavad Gita. So here, briefly in 2 sentences, Krishna tells him what is his duty. So listening to this, Bhima becomes very angry. He stands up and he says that you are acting in such a way that you as if you don't know me. Uh, I take great pride and great happiness in war, and my strength. I know that nobody can come and face me when I'm angry. When I'm in a war, nobody can face up to me. So you are talking as if you don't know me, or even if you know me, you are like a swimmer who is swimming in a lake who don't know how deep the lake is. So you just know me from outwards. You don't know how strong I am. And Bhima says it's not good to talk about one's own strength, but just because you insulted me saying that I don't have manliness and things like that, I'll tell you, even if the sky and earth start to come together with my arms, I can keep them separated. I can do that. I can, even if uh, Himalaya and the ocean and Indra, all of them come to rescue, I can, from nobody can escape from my mace when I strike my mace on my enemies. I will trample on the grounds all the Kshatriyas who come against Pandavas in the battle. When that time comes in that battle, when that war starts, at that time you will see my strength, and all the elephants and the warriors, Rathis and Maharathis and all those people that's coming, horses and everything getting crushed by me and my mace and my foot. At that time, you will see the bones and marrows and everything that's looking at that crushed by me uh, in anger. That time you will see my strength. It's only because of compassion and displaying goodwill to my enemy I said these things, but I'm ready to quietly bear all those insults and pain in me, and even uh, ill fame of not finishing my war of destroying Duryodhana and everybody, just to make sure that Bharata race is not uh, exterminated. It's not Kurus, not all of the Kurus. Just to make sure that they are not killed. I'm saying this. So Krishna then pacifies him, saying that it is only through affection I said all these things. I know your strength and things. I know how strong you are and what your actions would look like. Again, it is great that Pandavas can depend on you, and with your friends and everybody like you who have taken birth in Kshatriya race should not be looking at other options. So he says that yes, peace is good, but you should not be looking for submitting to Duryodhana because just for peace sake. So again, you should the fact that is that the one that arrives at a truth never one can never arrive at a truth and under the influence of doubt. So again, Bhima here, Krishna says that Bhima is doubtful of the outcome, right? So even though he's confident that if war happens, he's going to win, he is doubtful whether that's going to bring peace, happiness, because it's going to destroy everybody, right? So he says that Krishna tells him that you should do your actions, and with that, the results of those actions depends on how much effort you put in, and also what your destiny, what your fate is going to tell, because that's what going to decide what's the success or things. Don't think about the success or failure. Do your duties. So he tells him again, everybody in this world have to do their duties, because uh, that's what Shrutis and Smritis, Vedas and everything tell one to do, unless uh, one has given up all the actions. So right, so one has to do it. So that's why one should engage in actions without with full effort, but the success, everything is depends on what one, how much effort one puts, and also one's destiny. So it depends on that. So that's why failure, such a person who does not depend on the success or failure of the actions, such a person is never pained by the what outcome it is. So that's why he tells him that uh, don't think about those things. Just do what you're supposed to do. So when tomorrow morning I leave, I go there. I know your interest, what your interests are, Yudhishthira's interests are. I go there and I try to make peace without sacrificing your interest. I will do that. So the this entire army that's assembled here depends on you and Arjuna. So both of you, all of them are there. They are dependent on you. That's why you should not give up to these kind of things. Then Arjuna says that uh, again, Yudhishthira has already said what should be said. So, but also I'll tell you something. Duryodhana again, as you just said, our strength alone is not something that uh, may not give the result because it depends on the destiny, right? So, but having said that, one should not think that something is impracticable. So Arjuna is telling Krishna here that you should not go there thinking that peace cannot be achieved. So go and do everything you can. He tells Krishna, even though Duryodhana is wicked, you go there and try with your words, make him sure that Duryodhana agrees to that, and he agrees to this peace process so that the Kurus survive. Otherwise, when the war starts, I will destroy everybody, even Duryodhana. I would have destroyed him, but I want to make sure that this this peace starts. So when Duryodhana did all those things to Yudhishthira in the dice game and all the suffering that he has given from the very beginning, for that he deserves death at my hands. But that's that's not the right thing to do. So if peace can be attained, let's try that. So you go and make your effort. So he tells Krishna that put all your effort, make sure that peace can be achieved. And if not, then we will see. So hearing this, Krishna again agrees to him and he says, I will do as you say, I will do what is good for both Kurus and Pandavas. Between the two kinds of acts, war and peace, always peace is probably something I can try. And I will do all my effort. I will make sure that it do everything that required for the peace. Again, uh, it is Krishna repeats again that whatever that one achieves depends on both one's experience, how much effort one puts in, and also what the destiny has for one. Again, I will do all that's possible. If peace is achieved, then I consider that I have done a great thing. So again, he says that Duryodhana also knowing him, he will not at request, he will not give up the kingdom. So it's very difficult. If he refuses to comply with my request to give up the kingdom, then death surely will come to him. And that's something that's definitely going to happen. Again, I will try to long time ago when Duryodhana came there, I myself withdraw from this battle. So I can only be charioteer of your charioteer, but I can't do it, participate in the war. That's what the promise I already made. So if there is a war, I can't be much of help. So the only thing I can help now is probably try to establish the peace. So that's why I'm going to try this. And it's been a year since that Virata war has taken place, and Bhishma and everybody knows that what happened in that. They got defeated at that time. Duryodhana still is not ready to give up a small portion of his kingdom to Yudhishthira. So that's why it's very difficult. Peace looks very difficult. Listening to this, Nakula says that uh, again, much has been said by everybody, Yudhishthira, Bhima, Arjuna, everybody has said. But again, from my side, it is that we should try to have peace. Okay, so Nakula again advocates for peace here, and he says that even if we do everything, then things may not happen. But still, knowing how Duryodhana is, it may be very difficult, but we should still try to achieve that peace. So that's why going to the uh, Kauravas, you first speak with mildness and make sure that they understand, Duryodhana understands. If that doesn't happen, then you try to scare him. Okay, scare him that these are all people assembled here and they will destroy. With Vidura, Bhima, Bhishma, Drona, Bhalika, everybody there, they might listen. So with you and Vidura, with you as the speaker and Vidura as the listener, things might happen. So go and try. When Nakula says this, Sahadeva then starts. He says that what has been said by Yudhishthira and everybody, uh, you should is great, but war, you should act in such a way that war definitely happens. So Sahadeva is the only one here who first speaks, saying that war should happen. He says that if Kauravas express desire to peace, make sure that you still provoke them and make sure that war happens. Because having seen what happened to Draupadi in that assembly, without killing Duryodhana, I will not get any sleep. So if Bhima, Arjuna, and King Yudhishthira, all of them are virtuous and they abandon this, I will abandon the virtue and I will encounter Duryodhana in battle. So Sahadeva says this, and listening to this, Satyaki immediately jumps and says that what Sahadeva said is the truth. And I feel I will also go with Sahadeva. And if nobody comes, I will go and destroy Duryodhana with all his associates. So listening to, and all the kings assembled here as well, they will come and join and they will help in destroying Duryodhana. So listening to this, Satyaki speaking, all the kings assembled there say that great, great, excellent, you've been used excellent words said, because all of them are wishing for war. Only Yudhishthira, Krishna, and others, they are trying to see if there is a way to avoid this war. And while all this happening, Draupadi comes there and she explains her grief and what her feelings are about this peace process and potential peace and war that's looming, war that's coming up. So she says that again, by decide, Duryodhana robbed Pandavas of their happiness, and she relates that when Sanjay had told all this message here in Upaplavya, he was very much narrating what Dhritarashtra said. Even when asked about 5 villages, Avisthala, Vragasthala, Makandi, Varnavarta, and fifth one, that also not agreed by Duryodhana. So again, Yudhishthira is always modest and anxious for peace, but Duryodhana is not acted in such a way. So that's why peace is not going to happen. If Pandavas with all the Panchalas are able to withstand that Duryodhana's army, then why we are looking for peace? So the enemies whom we cannot establish peace, either through reconciliation or presence or anything like that, such an enemy should be punished heavily. And she also says that Duryodhana coveted all the wealth, and she says that the one that is always covets the wealth of others, belonging, whether it's belonging to Kshatriya, whether that person is belonging to a Kshatriya or any other order, any other Varna, except Brahmanas, such a person should always be killed by a Kshatriya. But the exception applies to Brahmanas, because Brahmanas are the gurus of all the other classes of people, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudras, and that's why they should not be killed. So Draupadi says that the persons who are cognizant with scriptures, shastras, they say that sin is incurred in slaying one who deserves not to be killed. At the same time, sin is equal sin comes if one does not kill a person as a kshatriya, if it do not kill a person who deserves to be killed. Okay, so the sin comes both ways. If a kshatriya kills somebody who does not deserve to be killed, at the same time, if he does not kill a person who deserves to be killed. So she says that here Duryodhana is very much, he took all the wealth and everything, and if any class of people do that except brahmanas, they deserve to be killed by kshatriya. So as a kshatriya we should do that. And then he again she again explains that if Bhima, I was born in Drupada's race and then came from fire. I have Drishtadimna for my brother, and I was married to Pandu as a daughter, Pandu's daughter-in-law, and with 5 people, like Indra's themselves, 5 heroes, and I have 5 sons from them, and also Abhimanyu. So all these people are there. Still, I was pulled in that assembly uh, by and only at that time I called upon you saying that Govinda save me, Govinda save me. So just here, if you remember in the Sabha Parva, when Draupadi's dress was pulling upon, at that time I said the shlokas that's there calling Krishna for help, that's not in most Mahabharata versions, right? So at that time, the explanation that's given in the Sabha Parva was Draupadi's dharma saved her, right? So Draupadi's chastity, Draupadi's pativrata, that saved her, okay? But in some versions of Mahabharata, some uh, copies of Mahabharata, there is clear saying that she prayed to Govinda, she prayed to Krishna, right? And Krishna helped her. So, but majority and the critical of the Mahabharatas, Krishna's helping there is not there. That's what it said. But here, in this particular uh, discussion, Draupadi clearly says that I called upon you. I called you, saying that Govinda save me. Okay. And so we can say that again in Sabha Parva, he said that Dharma saved her, righteousness saved her, her chastity saved her. Okay. Again, that means Krishna also means dharma, right? So Paramatma is dharma. So if one follows that, then Paramatma saves, Krishna saves. So it could be interpreted in the same way. So then uh, again, she says that Dhritarashtra is also after that Sabha Parva and in that dice game when my dress was pulled at that time, Dhritarashtra asked me, my father-in-law asked me, ask a boon, and as part of that boon, I got this kingdom back, weapons and everything back. But again, Pandavas were sent to this forest. So she explains all the things that went through because of Duryodhana's trouble, and then she cries and says that this Dushasana, who came and pulled me to that sabha, that assembly, pulling my hair. She shows us her hair and says that this is the hair that Dushasana pulled until his arm severed, removed and destroyed into small pieces like atoms. There is no peace. If Bhima today, like he's speaking, or Arjuna today is speaking, if they don't want to do, I will go with my brother Drishtadimna and my 5 sons and Abhimanyu. I will go and take my revenge. She says that I will do it. Okay. So saying this, she starts crying with tears. She says that, and Krishna consoles her, saying that soon all those ladies in Kurus, Hastinapura, who are there, they will cry because of their husbands and their children. All of them will be killed. But you don't have to cry now. And even if uh, entire earth stops and the sun rising and everything, all the events that takes place stops, still anything that can happen, but Kaurava's destruction is confirmed. So Krishna assures her that everything is going to happen, and Arjuna once more tries to uh, tell that uh, again, do everything in your capacity to bring peace and without compromising on the interest of King Yudhishthira. and Krishna assures that I will do everything. Again, what is with dharma, aligning with dharma, I will do everything. That is both beneficial to Pandavas as well as for the good of Kauravas. And then the night passed. Next day, as the sun rose in that Kartika month, Revati Nakshatra, it was just after the, again in Kartika month, the morning dews of everything is finished, and at that time Krishna wakes up and he uh, Krishna wakes up and then he goes, so he does all his morning rituals and everything, and then he, sorry, where is Galaxy Note? Please don't do this annotations. So Krishna goes there and he he completes all his morning rituals and everything, and then doing all the morning auspicious things and worshipping all the brahmanas and everything. He asks Satyaki to prepare his chariot with his mace, his arrows, darts, everything, and weapons, all types of weapons, offensive and defensive weapons, because he says that Duryodhana, Karna, Shakuni, all those are wicked, and however you go, you should always go prepared. And listening to this, immediately Krishna, Satyaki prepares everything, and in that chariot, which is like a fire itself, that was prepared, which had Surya and Chandra on it, and it as a symbols. It had moon and both full shape and crescent shape drawn on it, and its fishes, animals, birds, and all the things, garlands, and everything was adorned in that uh, chariot. It was full, uh, full of gems and gold and everything. So such a chariot was prepared, and to that chariot was tied 4 horses of Krishna: Shaibhya, Sugriva, Meghapushpa, and Balaka. Those were there. Again, those horses were bathed, and then beautiful harness were put on them. And then Krishna, uh, at that time, Garuda comes, and then he sits on the flagstaff of that chariot. So then Krishna mounts the chariot and he makes his journey towards Hastinapura, taking Satyaki with him. So Satyaki joins Krishna on that chariot. So two of them make their journey. So the sky became cloudless, auspicious winds started blowing, and all the good signs come there. And as he was making his way, the rishis, Vashishta, Vamadeva, Buridyumna, Gaya, Krata, Shukra, Kaushika, Bhrigu, other Brahmarshis and Devarishis and all the Brahmanas, everybody came there, and all of them stood on the right side of the Krishna. And that's again good sign. So all of them, uh, all of them blessed Krishna, and all the rishis, Krishna also worshipped them, and then after worshipping them, he goes. And as he was moving forward, Yudhishthira also followed him along with Bhima, Arjuna, and others, other Pandavas, the Madri's sons, along with Drishtaketu, Chekidana, Drupada, king of Kashi, Shikindi, Drishtadimna, Virata, with his sons, Keyakas, everybody, all of them, all the kings, and everybody follows Krishna. So after a while, so Yudhishthira goes, followed it, and then he addresses him about, Yudhishthira addresses Krishna, saying, thinking about his mother. He says that my mother has suffered all along from very early. She married, after a marriage, all along she suffered, and she lives in there all these years thinking about us, suffering in that Duryodhana's place. She is there, and worship her on my behalf, and then also worship all the elders, including King Dhritarashtra, Bhishma, Drona, Kripa, Balika, Ashwatthama, Somadatta, everybody, all of them, and also Vidura. Worship all of them and allow as per the morality and whatever that's right. So worship on their my behalf, and then all the counselors and everybody that's there, all the elders should be worshipped. So having said that, Yudhishthira with Krishna's permission, he returns back. And Arjuna, again going a few steps forward with Krishna, he tells his friend that again, you know what is good for us and what is good for Kauravas without insulting us. If they honor you and honestly give us what is demanded, then it is great danger escapes. Otherwise, surely it will be destruction of entire Kshatriya race. That's what going to happen. And Arjuna, when he says again at that time, listening to this, Bhima gives a very strong scream, shout. Listening to this, all the people assembled there became very scared. Such a huge was shout he gives and scream in that anger. Even the horses and elephants started passing urine and excreta. So they such was the Bhima shout at that time. And after that, again, with those horses, Shaibya, Sugriva, and others tied to his horse, Daruka starts moving the Krishna's chariot forward. So again, as Krishna was moving along, all the rishis and brahmanas start coming along the way, and Krishna inquires them whether everything is okay and all the things are going okay, and where are you going and where you are, what is the reason you all are lined up like this, and those then Parashurama addresses Krishna there, and he says that all the rishis, Deva rishis, and the Brahmanas, and everybody, Raja rishis, and everybody assembled here, and all of them are heading here, including Devatas and everybody, to see all the Kshatriyas assembled there and the words that you are going to say in that assembly. So, all of us we are very anxious to listen to the words that you are going to say, which is filled with dharma, artha, and in the presence of Bhishma, Drona, and others, what you are going to say, we all want to hear, and that's why we have coming here. So you carry on, we will come and join you there. So they say that. So with that, Krishna makes his journey, and where Krishna reaches and what happens after that, we will look at that next time. Any questions?